Hey everybody, my name is Coach Rich and I am one of the high performance coaches with Complete Performance Coaching. I hope all of you are having a wonderful Saturday. And so today, one of the questions I get sometimes is how do I best prepare for a game or a match or a competition, or how do I help my child prepare? And so I wanted to just talk about that for a little bit. And the simple answer, actually, it's not a simple answer because unfortunately, the answer is it depends. Every athlete is different. I've seen athletes who they kind of isolate themselves. They'll sit in the corner, maybe have their music going on, not really interacting or socializing with the rest of their team. And then I've seen the complete other side of that, where you've got the athletes who are just kind of goofing off and having fun and socializing, and sometimes maybe even doesn't seem like they're taking the game seriously, but that's how they prepare. That's kind of what they need to be at their best. And so everybody's going to be different. It's going to be different for every single person. However, I do think that there are really three things that are important to being prepared, both mentally and physically. The first two are a little bit different, something we don't really talk about a whole lot on here, but the first two is just sleep and nutrition. Obviously, before you go into any sort of competition, you need to make sure that you have that fuel. You need to make sure that you're rested and you have that fuel through food and your nutrition, that you're just ready to go and you feel good physically. That's why some these marathon runners and other endurance athletes, sometimes in their preparation they'll do kind of carb loading and things like that. In high school, when I played football, our coaches always made sure we had a real hearty meal before a game, and so we would have like steak and potatoes or something like that, because that nutrition is a very valuable part of just making sure that you're physically ready and physically prepared. And so the third thing that is important is just confidence. That is probably the most important thing from a mental standpoint when going into a competition. Now, how you get that confidence is completely up to you. It's different for every single person. Two common ways, two things that I used to use a lot is visualization and positive self-talk. I've talked on here before about visualization. I'm a big believer in visualization just because it's so simple. To me, it's almost like a video game of yourself, that you're watching this video game of yourself, and you can completely control and manipulate yourself as well as your environment. And so as you're doing that, you can get used to different possible scenarios that may happen in a game. When I was playing, I would try to visualize the opponent's pitcher and what their uniform looked like, and all those kinds of things, and I would visualize every possible scenario that could possibly take place throughout the game. And if you're maybe a gymnast and you're working on a routine or something like that, just being able to visualize that routine, the more that you see yourself doing it, the more comfortable you're going to get when it comes time to actually perform that routine. And so that's one way to help with that confidence. The other way is just positive self-talk. Just making sure that you are doing what you need to do, that you're telling yourself all these positive things, that you're just in a good, positive, confident frame of mind. And when you do that, you're going to feel more confident, more ready to play. Now, I will say the one issue that I always ran into when I was trying to prepare for a game is that I would sometimes visualize too much, which I always thought, how can you do that? Visualization is such a great tool. How can I possibly visualize too much? Well, I found a way. And basically, for me, when I played, I was sort of a cerebral player. I was always thinking, always processing. And so what happened was I would visualize throughout the day, and right up to the game and right before the game. And so when I actually got into the game, I would be spending most of my time just thinking and processing, and that's not how I wanted to play. I needed to play very instinctually, and I needed to, when it came time for the game, I needed to kind of just shut all that off and not worry about preparing anymore and just go out there and play. But that was hard for me to do. And so for me, what I needed to do was I needed to stop the visualizing earlier in the day. I needed to, once it came time for the game, maybe I needed to spend more time with more positive self-talk, or I needed to spend time just kind of just relaxing and having fun and doing those kinds of things. And so what I always tell athletes is sometimes it's just trial and error. You really have to figure out what works best for you guys. And so I would challenge you to try something. It's very important to have some sort of a routine as you go into your competition. But challenge yourself. Come up with a routine, something that you think will work for you. And if it doesn't work, if you don't feel confident going into the competition, then tweak it. Try something different. See what works for you, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. If you just think about kind of the music that people are listening to, in locker rooms, some people will have very, hard kind of rap or rock or something kind of like that they're listening to because they need to get kind of fired up or pumped up and ready for the game that way. Other people may be listening to more kind of laid back and relaxing music because they want to feel more relaxed. And to a certain extent, it kind of just depends on the sport that you're playing. If you're playing a sport like football, you probably want to be maybe a little bit more amped up. If you're a gymnast or you're in another sport that maybe isn't as physical and doesn't have the contact that like football does, then you might need to be a little bit more relaxed and a little bit calmer. For me, I needed to be a lot calmer when I played baseball. My initial sort of reaction was to get amped up. But for me, when I did that, I kind of lost track and I wasn't able to think and just react as clearly as I would have liked. So hopefully this helps you guys. Just a few quick pointers on how to best prepare for competitions and games and matches. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to ask, and I will be happy to answer them. But go out and try something different. See what works for you guys, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.